real high, but not like I can't breathe high, but like very high. Drunk, I would just pass out. You gotta be high. There's gotta be, we turn it into The Room like cult classic. We all dress up like in our favorite Melania outfits. Mine would be pretend gardening with plaid shirt on and clean gloves. And then we go and we watch it and we just kind of like boo at the screen and just say like wrong, grab him by the pussy, right? Quote. I mean, I feel like we could spin this into something good, but then we would have to give, I guess, Melania a little bit of our money and Amazon Studios.
True. I love, I think I know the image you're talking about. I think she was wearing the weird like colonial outfit, like she's about to put on a pith helmet and invade Africa or whatever.
No, that was different. This was like I'm gardening, but no, I remember that one too. They're iconic, truly.
They are. I'm gonna go as the red tree, I think, and I'll pose with all the other red trees in the lobby before the film starts. Anyway, there could be an interesting Melania documentary. There will someday be an interesting Melania movie made. It can't be made in conjunction with her, obviously, until she turns on Trump. Probably after he dies, she'll make money by revealing what she really thought about him. Or maybe she'll never do that. But that would be something worth doing. That would be interesting. What we're gonna get is a complete waste of time. Like, even if you like Melania, what the hell is the point of that? You can watch her reels on Instagram if you just wanna see softly lit images of her walking in slow motion through the White House. I don't know why you'd pay $20 for it.
Sometimes I wonder, why was there a Christmas? Where do the toys come from? Why can Santa reach everybody? And if I reach him first, could I kill him?
They could save a lot of money by just having you do the voice.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, well, that is unfortunate. I have to mention one other thing. The director is Brett Ratner, who is most famous in recent years for sexual misconduct allegations by multiple people he worked with. Which I just think is the most amazing chef's kiss on this entire thing. That the wife of a serial sexual predator is gonna have a documentary made by a guy accused of being a sexual predator by a number of actresses, including Olivia Munn. Anyway, with that said, that's all the time we have for our show. We're gonna do some members content though. We're gonna make fun of Elon Musk and Donald Trump a little bit. We've got a video of them dancing. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna talk a little bit about free speech as well. That'll be going out to the members. Thank you everyone for watching. Check out the Bitchuation Room tomorrow. Francesca, thank you. And I will see you all tomorrow. Until then, stay safe out there, stay sane out there. See you soon.
music. It gets me going. Hi, this is Indisputable. I'm Sharon Reed alongside Jackson White. Politics and Paper. Today, Dr. Richie has the day off. We welcome you, Jackson. Always, I think it's a fun time, a good partnership when we're together.
Oh
So
yeah, it's
welcome.
always a good time, and I'm rather fantastic today. So I think
Good.
I think we're gonna have a good one for
It's our
sure.
first meeting, I believe, since the brand new year.
Yes, yes. Only a few more
And
days until Trump takes office, so we definitely gonna have a vibrant year when it comes to this political commentary stuff.
yes, the storm is blowing in. So we're going to begin with this one. And again, I want to make it clear to folks at home, these are real stories. Okay. The team searches high and low to bring you stories that are impactful and that you might have strong opinions about. I say that because it's another ridiculous one. White man dumps raw cotton on Georgia church steps. That's a lot of effort. A lot of effort to be racist these days. Here's what went down. White man allegedly dumped raw cotton on Georgia church steps, but local TV stations, what did they put on the air? Well, this. Used photos of black men, which prompted hateful comments. Yep, the photo is still up on the station's website, which is a clear indication that nobody even watches. That used to be an issue all the time when I did local news. I'm saying to them, hey, someone is pleasuring themselves in the background of this shot. I'm on the air trying to give the viewers what they're asking for. Whole newsroom full of people. They're making their weekend plans. They're not watching their own newscast. And I'm trying to flag it. Not to make it all about me, but you would think one person at the television station would say, whoa, let's go to break. Nope, still up on the station's website. Here's a photo that actually helps identify the man. I mean, isn't that what we should be going for? Police near Augusta, Georgia, they're asking for the public's help in locating a man alleged to have spread raw cotton outside of a predominantly black church. And a Black Star are friends there filling things in. Now, the person of interest, captured by church security cameras, looks to be carrying a large handful of cotton up a ramp to Palmer Grove Baptist Church, where the sheriff's office told the Atlanta Journal-Constitution Friday he littered raw field cotton on the porch steps. As a result, he faces possible charges, including trespassing. Wow. Let's get to an article posted online Thursday night by Channel 2 Action News. It has led to some confusion about the incident, which police said occurred December 7th. Photo accompanying the story shows what appear to be two different black men, differing from the picture distributed by the Burke County Sheriff's Office. Now, in that photo, it's evident that the person of interest is a bearded white man. Remember, carrying that ball of raw cotton. That's a white man. Okay? Channel 2? The apparent mistake, can I put mistake in air quotes? The apparent mistake by Channel 2 led many users to speculate the whole thing was a hoax, with many taking on a hostile, if not racist, tone. Police have provided two numbers for people with any information about the suspect to call Burke County Sheriff's Office. That number, 706-554-2133. To the Criminal Investigation Division, or you can contact the Criminal Investigation directly. There's another number for that. Okay, so here's the thing. The reason I put mistake in air quotes, Jackson, was because, again, I've worked at these places, and certain stations have certain reputations, but across the board, a lack of following protocols, a lack of wherewithal, a lack of connecting dots, and as much as you cover people, not realizing that people have different life experiences and just throwing something up there and not giving a damn, not a care in the world. It's willful misconduct to me when there are protocols put in place and you don't follow them. It's one editor watching Jerry Springer reruns and looping footage. That's how the Situation, same station years ago, got on the air. Someone pleasuring themselves during Freaknik. You ruined it for everyone and just kept playing it for the viewers at home. But that's how it happens. You're not minding the store. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. But never mind that, which I call willful misconduct. The first part, Jackson, has got to be just racist. Who do you think said, well, we have footage of a purported subject of this investigation, a white guy carrying raw cotton. But go find me 2 black homies and we'll put them in the B-roll. I don't know. Is that what happened? And why would no one say, I don't think we should be doing that? What say you?
Yeah, they was like, we got to put 2 black guys in here because white people would never do something so heinous. It would be like
Thank you.
be like,
You.
a white conservative racist would never do something like this. I mean, yeah, it's because as you know, Obama is the reason why we have racism in this country today.
Yeah.
Before Obama came along, there was no tension between anybody.
No.
It just wasn't a thing. And then all of a sudden, Obama comes in and he brings all this wokeness and all this, DEI nonsense with him.
And a tan suit.
In a tan suit, eating mustard on his cheeseburgers and stuff. And now all of a sudden we got to think about black people in corporate America. And like, I didn't have to think about this mess before that. Now all of these black people just coming along, trying to be included in everything. I mean, yeah, this is pretty silly. I don't know exactly what this dude thought he was going to do. Like, I'm going to dump a bunch of cotton on these steps and that'll take us back. But yeah, I mean, racism is still alive, especially systemically. It's not something that's really up for debate. But we have these debates all the time because people want to put the blinders on. But I thought that was kind of silly. It's like, no, we can't let the white guy be shown in this frame. Otherwise, that'll set us back. Like, no, we're already here, man. Donald Trump ran a blatantly racist campaign. America was like, let's do this again. We're already here. So just accept it.
Yeah, and to show you just how tone deaf or just flat out damn disrespectful this television station is, what did I say? I said it's still up online. Our crack team of producers, they've been monitoring this. You would think that they would just deactivate the link, take it down. People began saying all kinds of nonsense. I once worked at a place in Cleveland, and that was part of our duty, engage with people, get on social media, okay? And I started looking under the comments of things I posted, and it was the most vile, racist disgustingness. And I thought, oh, well, no one must have seen it. I went in and I warned the news director. I said, we've got to take this down. This fool actually put in writing back to me. I can call him that. He also brought in Oreos on MLK Day. Okay, said, happy MLK Day, a fool. He actually wrote me and said, well, viewers are allowed to have free speech, so we're going to leave it up there. I said, okay, fool. You go on and do that, but I'm not going to be posting anything on the station. So I'm going to disassociate my account with yours. And I had more followers anyway. So this is the attitude, but I can't help but think of a different group would have said, what the heck is this? It would have been down in 10 minutes. I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they thought they was gonna get some more views, and I don't know. Maybe that's what it was. Especially like what you talking about with the Freaknik dude. That sounded like, oh, this is good for television. This will be good for our viewership.
Zoomed in from the chopper.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they thought that's more what their viewers would want to see. And again, they don't want to stir the pot or something like that because racists don't like being called racist.
No, they don't. They didn't like
that.
Freaknik either. Maybe it was a plot to end Freaknik. Remember, it took over this city. I was down here reporting, and I was not taking part in the festivities. And I'm not going to ask you if you were, but there's plenty of documentation. We'll move on now to this next one. I'm not surprised, and I've talked about it here before. I'm a woman.
Skip.
So it happened. Okay, I'm a woman. I can say that. If you're a woman, you know what I'm talking about. And here we are. He's got a little chip on his shoulder that really irks a lot of people. Ask Shannon Sharp. But he's going to have to defend himself apparently in court. Skip Bayless allegedly harassed a hairstylist and offered $1.5 million for sex. I mean, you have to, well, never mind. Lawsuit alleges the former Fox Sports host harassed hairstylist, offered her $1.5 million for a sex. Woman who worked as a hairstylist for Fox Sports alleges in a lawsuit that former host Skip Bayless made repeated unwanted advances toward her, including an offer of $1.5 million. She would have sex with him. AP with the reporting here. Now, attorneys for Nushin Faraji, who was a hairstylist at Fox for more than a decade, seeking unspecified damages now from Bayless, Fox Sports, and its parent company, Fox Corporation. Do you think Fox has extra lawyers on staff because they're constantly being accused of this kind of thing? Specializing in this kind of allegation. Just asking. According to a copy of the lawsuit filed Friday in California Superior Court in Los Angeles, that complaint claims Fox execs fostered a hostile work environment that allowed senior managers and on-air personalities, including Bayless, to abuse workers without fear of punishment. Faraji claimed that the advances by Bayless, which began in 2017 and continued until last year, included lingering hugs, kisses on the cheek, and comments from Bayless that he could change Faraji's life if she had sex with him. He probably would have. Nightmares and trauma. She probably wouldn't have gotten a good night's sleep after that. He would have changed her life indeed. Okay. 2021, she claims in the suit, Bayless offered Faraji $1.5 million for sex, and after she refused, this part, later threatened her job. Okay. Ms. Faraji knew that he was trying to pressure her into having sex with him, but she kept repeatedly telling him that she was a professional, had to be kind to all talent, lawsuit says. Faraji said she was fired in 2024 based on fabricated reasons. That's another thing that they like to do. Put out false statements, add things to your HR record. If you keep notes, some people keep recordings. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. They got to moonwalk that back faster than Michael Jackson did. Okay. But she says this was a sham. The lawsuit said she initially remained quiet about her treatment at Fox, believing she could be in danger if she went public. Fox Sports Executive Vice President Charlie Dixon now, also a central figure in the lawsuit. Faraji claims that during a Fox Sports birthday party, Dixon grabbed her buttocks without her consent. Incident, she alleges, was emblematic of a broader culture of harassment within the network. Where's the buzz? Teaming up on this for us. Suit also claims Fox employees were not paid their full wages or overtime. Seeks class action status on behalf of other workers who allegedly were impacted. Well, they would have gotten their overtime, at least Faraji would have, had she, he wanted to give her some overtime now, had she acquiesced to this disgusting allegation, this alleged man. Fox Sports said in a statement, it takes the allegation seriously. No, you don't. But had no further comment giving the pending lawsuit. So listen, there's a female host, and I'm trying to be real delicate about this. Female host on FS1, key face of the network. Listen, I was a sideline reporter in the NFL and the NBA and did my day job. I'm telling you, this goes on. Okay? And I broke more stories than any of my male butt-kissing groupie colleagues, okay, who just wanted to be in the locker room. And I didn't sleep with anyone to get these stories, okay? But this is what happens. Face of the network is also named in a lawsuit. Faraji alleges the female host was romantically involved with a male Fox Sports analyst and engaged in a sexual relationship with Dixon to secure her position at the network. Lawsuit claims that once Dixon was no longer beneficial to the host's career, she accused him of sexual assault to distance herself and protect her reputation. Faraji's claims suggest a complex and troubling dynamic in which the female host allegedly exploited her sexuality to advance professionally while failing to support colleagues facing harassment. Well, that goes on every day. Okay, it goes on every day. 2017, Fox Sports fired its head of programming amid a probe of sexual harassment allegations. So here's the thing, Jackson. Remember, she's saying that Fox Corp parent company, not just tolerated this, fostered this kind of behavior, an environment for it. And here you have an executive. You have Skip. I like his brother better. His brother makes a wonderful show about Mexican cooking. He's very dedicated to Mexican cooking. Rick Bayless, the famed chef. Skip, on the other hand, these are just allegations, but Will you decide if you believe it or not? But again, Jackson, the lawsuit to me, they're not going to be able to just throw Skip under the bus. He's no longer there anyway, which is what they probably would have done. When she says no, bump, bump. I got receipts on other stuff too, including executives. What say you?
Well, I mean, this is very emblematic of the culture at Fox News anyway. You got the Bill O'Reillys.
Ugh,
You
sorry.
got, I mean, you got what's the name? Tucker Carlson. I think he was lightly accused of some stuff. Nothing like Bill
Probably
O'Reilly
said some
was.
horrific things. And he
Yeah,
called
but
an executive a Tuesday, but you're right.
yeah, I mean, this is very believable. I don't have any reason to think that this woman's lying, but my man Skip Bayless was like, I'm gonna pay your bills for the next 20
What are you
years
doing?
to give me that thing one time. You know what
What are
I'm
you
saying?
doing?
Like I guess he just wanted to feel like the man, feel
Hmm.
like he had some power. Obviously, he's got the money to do it, $1.5 million again to get up in that thing one time. That's like you can make a lot of jokes about it, but obviously
Yeah,
this is harassment. If you have to be in a work environment where you deal with this on a weekly basis, a daily basis, however often, if you know it's going to come at some point, I don't have to deal with this as a man, but as a
hmm,
woman, I can imagine how disturbing it is to know that it's coming.
thank you.
Like you're going to go
Thank
into an
you.
environment, you're like, okay, I know at some point one of these dudes is going to touch me or say something to me that I don't want to hear. And as a man, unless you have no social awareness, which I don't think that's the case for Skip, when a woman is interested or not. And
You
you
do.
also know what's appropriate and what isn't, and a
Can
lot
I
of the
can I
times,
challenge you? Can I
yeah, yeah,
challenge you on that?
yeah.
Donald Trump, who had yes people around him his whole life, I don't think he knows any better. I think he believes that he could do these things. Bill O'Reilly. Okay, he used to scream out he wrote the whole show. He didn't write one segment. Okay, I was in the newsroom. He didn't write one segment. These kinds of people feel entitled and believe they can do it and they get away with it. And then a woman gets fired. And I just want to say this too. I feel for the woman and these allegations here. The reference, though, to a colleague sleeping with somebody else and that whole complicated thing, let me push back just a little in that regard, too. It is horrific when you come to work, as Jackson alluded to, and there are fears. When are you going to be touched? I have said it here, I'll say it again. A very powerful, notable blowhard at Fox put his tongue down my throat. You think I asked for that? Ugh. Do you think I asked for that? Young journalist just starting out. If I told you who, you'd say, oh, of course. Okay. Uh, Apparently was obsessed with women showering as well. Uh, but this is what goes on. And for a woman who has worked hard, she'd been there 10 years, right? You work hard, you want a career. Why should you have to throw it all? Oh, well, you could just say, don't do that. Or people are so clueless, the same as they are about rape, sexual assault, the same as they are about sexual assault. That it's a woman's problem and a short skirt and you asked for it. Instead of putting the blame squarely where you put it, these dodo heads who think they're entitled to grab women's buttocks and private parts and everything else. I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, I think they're absolutely clearly entitled. They feel like they should be able to do what they want, but I think that there's still somewhat of an awareness that this is unacceptable to other people. That if word gets out that they'll probably get in trouble. So
Mm-hmm.
I think because I think if you absolve them of their knowledge of the situation,
It's
then
true.
so you can't totally absolve that. Are they entitled? Yes, but I think that
Mm-hmm.
they still are well aware that this is not appropriate and that other people will find this to be inappropriate.
Yeah, I agree
But
with you.
yeah, but it's definitely a power play because it's not as if
Mm-hmm.
Skip Bayless can't find someone willing to date him, because there's a lot of people out here. But yeah, this is pretty embarrassing, but also very avoidable. Just don't
Yeah,
be a creep at work, and you probably
just have to be a creep. That's a T-shirt trademark it before they get after it.
right. I'm
There's a
gonna
whole
have
lot of
to.
people that'll buy that for presents, but I do think there's probably 6 or 7 women who could hold their nose and date him. He didn't have to do this.
Yeah.
Skip, he didn't have to do this. And you're right too about accountability because I think the standard is You should know, okay? Whether you do or not is irrelevant. You're an adult, highly compensated, competent, allegedly, in the field, and you don't know any better than this. You actually, Skip Bayless, if true, is a hypocrite too. Look at all the players he calls out for their off the field behavior or the like. Look at all the things that he has said and judges. So it's okay if we want to judge. It's okay. Like I said, I like his brother, Rick. Are you familiar with Rick Bayless?
No,
The
I'm
chef?
not actually. I didn't know he had a brother, but you said he does. He's a chef, so
Yes, he
yeah.
specializes in Mexican cuisine, authentic. And I've watched his show. And when I saw the last name, I said, really? And they kind of resemble each other, but who knows? One's a big mouth and one carries a big knife and uses it to chef up good eats. Anyway, we're going to move on. And this one, too, involves Fox. They are in the headlines today. Fox News tries to link New Orleans truck attack to border security. Again, I ask, who's in these editorial meetings and who gets to speak up? Fox News keeps trying to link the New Orleans truck attack to border security despite no evidence. I want you to check this out.
That the suspect was driving a truck with Texas plates. That vehicle is said to have come through our border in Eagle Pass 2 days ago. The FBI is investigating the incident as an act of terrorism.
And it didn't end there. Watch. So after the truck ramming attack killed at least 14 people at a New Year's celebration in New Orleans, Fox News misreported that the vehicle used came across the southern border. 2 days earlier, it said that happened, implying that the suspected perpetrator, later identified as an Army veteran born in the U.S., had also crossed the border. Media Matters chronicling that for us. President-elect Donald Trump spread Fox News' faulty reporting by posting the same misinformation minutes after the network reported it. Well, maybe one of the cronies over there texted it to him, said, here, put this up on Truth Social. Trump posted to Truth Social, when I said that the criminals coming in are far worse than the criminals we have in our country, that statement was constantly refuted by Democrats and the fake news media, but it turned out to be true. It's not true. It's not true. Fox host Julie Banderas, now she's still there. Interesting. Shifted focus to the southern border by claiming that the license plate on the truck has a history of plate readers at the border in patterns that, and I'm quoting, may be suspicious for human smuggling. Come on, Julie. Fox News national correspondent Griff Jenkins claimed the attack is, quote, raising new concerns about the terror threat across the country, including at our southern border, before interviewing Trump's border czar, Tom Homan. On Hannity, Homan claimed Biden bragged that the New Orleans attacker is a U.S. citizen and said that the border was the biggest national security threat. Now, during a straight news panel discussion about the attack, Fox News contributor and Washington Post columnist Mark Thiessen declared that Trump has got to find those people who snuck into our country and deport them. The attacker was a U.S. citizen. Okay, I don't know how many times yet. The attacker was a U.S. citizen, an Army veteran, served as a human resource specialist and an IT specialist from 2007 to 2015, and then in the Army Reserve until 2020. So, you know, to me, this is so lame, Jackson. It's just like, you're corny. This is lame. When are we going to stop this? But at the end of the day, there's a huge appetite for it, or Fox wouldn't keep serving it up. They did not believe this for 1 second. Here I go again. I'm telling you, they did not believe it for 1 second. But they made sure and got in all the ears of their correspondents and said, this is what we're going with. Fox is very organized when it comes from morning through prime, going with the talking points and making sure everybody's on board. That they execute perfectly. So this is not an accident. This is not a mistake. And do you agree, Jackson, that there's a tremendous appetite still after all the nonsense for this kind of faulty reporting?
Yeah, there's a huge appetite for it, and I think that's an important point that you bring up. One thing that bothers me about a lot of political analysts viewpoint on society is that everyone's being tricked by the billionaires. Like no one has any agency or thought. Like, no, no, no. People are being told what they want to hear. And that's why it works. It's why they go to the voting booth in droves to vote for things like racism. All the immigrants, the brown immigrants, are taking everyone's jobs and they're destroying society. And people really think this, like, so it is true on the one hand that, your ledgers of power, whether it's corporate America or billionaires like Elon Musk or George Soros or anybody that you want to bring up who greatly influence politics. Yeah, it's of benefit for them, for the masses to be fighting among one another, but the masses fight among one another over things that they actually believe. Like, no, millions of people in this country are genuinely racist towards Latino immigrants or brown immigrants of any kinds. They want to hear this. So it's, everybody's involved. And I just personally don't like it when people try to absolve, oh, the voters don't talk. No, the voters we're guilty for putting these people in office. Whether it's Republicans, Democrats who fall short, it doesn't matter. We fall in hook, line, and sinker for this type of stuff. So yeah, Trump's lying. Fox News is lying, but the base, as you pointed out, they don't care. This is what they believe. This is what they want to hear. This is what they want.
So the red meat, they're craving it. They're demanding it. I mean, remember when they ran from Fox to News Nation because Fox was not telling enough falsehoods, and so they taught them, you better get back in line. Is what they did. But I think it's sick. And I don't know what to do about it. You can't regulate everything. Again, you're right. It takes some responsibility for your America, folks. Okay, you have access. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Educate yourself. Other people do it. And look, there's countries, Jackson, as you know, where internet is restricted, cut off for some people, and yet somehow they're still getting crucial information and exercising dissent. But here, we're supposed to believe that you don't know any better at all. You don't know anything at all. You just walk through the meadows and sing skippity-da-doo, and everything is beautiful in your world. Never mind that you just skipped over an unhoused person. Never mind that you turn on Fox News and hear them. There's enough to talk about here that they didn't have to go there. Why not attack these American cities? Wink, wink. You know what they do with that, right? No, they decided they needed something grander. This is Indisputable. I'm Sharon Reed alongside my friend Jackson White. Today, Dr. Richie has the day off. Much more indisputable when we come right back.
Indisputable exclusive. Exclusive, disputable, exclusive. We brought you this first. No other news agency has this video. No other news agency has this story.
Every week on Indisputable, we do original, exclusive, investigative reporting you'll find nowhere else.
Our reports have been viewed by millions. Hosted by Sean King, Ben Crump, Senator John Ossoff.
You, through your investigative reporting, unearthed very troubling allegations about specific forms of abuse and discrimination in the federal prison system.
We catching these cases on camera. Just imagine the things that we don't see.
Our groundbreaking investigations and exclusive interviews bring you the real voices no one else wants you to hear. We tell the stories.
Imagine a prison that is so racist, the corrections officers contact me. That is a life or death situation being created. A black woman who was driving for Uber was allegedly assaulted by a white male passenger. After we got involved, roughly 24 hours later, the police all of a sudden opened up an investigation. What was going through your mind when bullets were simply flying inside of your vehicle?
Honestly, I thought I was going to die.
Did these officers ever say that you fit the description of somebody they were looking for? Did they say that?
Never.
Okay, that means they lying.
And we want you to be part of our truth-telling movement. Send pictures and video of stories no one else is telling and a 1 or 2 paragraph summary of the story to Indisputable's exclusive tip line at indvideos@tyt.com.
If you have more information about what's happening at this particular facility, please let me know.
Together, we're challenging the system, and together, we're making a difference.
I have the entire background to this story, and it is going to make your blood boil.
Indisputable with Dr. Rashad Ritchie, unveiling the truth, empowering the people. Weekdays at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Pacific.
I got pulled in. They told me, hey, listen, Cenk, we're insiders. We are the establishment. People in Washington tell me that they're concerned about your tone. We think that there's a better role for you, and it's not in 6 o'clock. The problem with the mainstream media is they're desperate to get access. They don't challenge the government. They don't challenge power. We're supposed to challenge the government. That's the role of the media.
Components that corrupt our politicians, I think, also corrupt mainstream media. It's really difficult for cable outlets to talk about things like income inequality, wealth inequality, when the advertisers that are funding their shows are the same corporations that want to ensure that the same system continues. People watch digital media or new media, they get a completely different message. They focus on the issues that matter or resonate more with the constituency. We need to know one thing. Is the corporate media incompetent?
Corporate media, I can't hear you. Establishment press, where are you? I can't hear you. The media's position I am clear on. Everything is pro-war, so everything is just framed that way. In this case, I mean, war is inevitable, right? I mean, the defense contractors should get a couple more $1 trillion. You ready for the stunning results? Only 6% of people say they have a great deal of confidence in the press. Wakey, wakey, okay? Progressives don't like the media either. You know why? It's the corporate media. Corporate media sounds like a conspiracy. Wait. Who owns you? Multi-billion-dollar corporations, public corporations. I can't think of corporate media because corporations own us. Yeah, that's how it works.
I really love what y'all do on the Young Turks, man, and it's a very refreshing, voice. Y'all don't lean to one side. I tell people all the time, if you want to go really hear what's going on honestly in our society, you should tune in to the Young Turks.
Thank you, Charlemagne. We appreciate that.
That's awesome. Really appreciate it, brother.
Welcome back to Indisputable. Sharon Reed alongside Jackson White in for Dr. Ritchie, who has the day off. Let's get to some of your comments. Curious what some of you have to say about the stories presented. Cerberus Dragon has this to say about the allegations at Fox News. Skip Bayless, executive named in the suit, Fox Corp as well. Seems like women need hazard pay to work at Fox. It's true. They actually should put something in there, but I don't want it to be this preemptive thing. Okay, Cerberus, where we paid you extra, so now we get to, just assume it's going to happen. But you're right. Jojo Dragon says, Sharon, faux news. Remember, they also said that somebody came across the border and did the New Orleans attack. It's an Army veteran, a U.S. Army veteran here, who is the culprit. Faux news is going to serve it up whether there's an appetite for it or not. Lynn? Posting those photos was more racist than placing the cotton on the church steps. I agree with you. Because this raw cotton layer downer did that on a security camera, looked like was caught on surveillance. What the television station did was broadcast it everywhere and put it online on their website for all to see. So yeah, I think you're right, Lynn. I never disagree with Lynn. It's like we're one person. Serbius Dragon says, happy Monday, my dear TYT family. Always grateful to be with you. The wonderful queen of Atlanta, Miss Sharon Reed. And dear brother Jackson White. It is definitely a powerful Monday and much needed. Thank you, Dragon. YouTube now, Duncan, your mate says, Sharon and Jackson, sweet news. Oh, we think so. I like Jackson. Mellow Yellow says, I always thumbs up. I love this channel. I must say how cute you are. And Dr. Richie is cute. Handsome, in parentheses, too. Would Doc care? You know what, Mellow Yellow, because I'm looking at her profile. But Doc wouldn't mind if you called him cute. I don't think he'd mind at all. He's a very confident, big-hearted guy. Busy Bee says, Sharon and Jackson, great way to start off the week. Well, thank you. And one more for you. Jackson Dragon over on Twitch. Hold on, so he wanted to be racist so damn bad that he went out there and actually picked some cotton so he could dump it onto a black church. Yes.
That'll show him.
That's how I told you when we started off. Do you know how much effort it took to be racist in this instance? He didn't go to Walgreens and pick up a bag of cotton balls. Those are fine. He said, no. You know what it looks like. Black church. And that's what went down. So don't be stunned. Don't be surprised. Jackal Dragon. All right, let's move on here. I guess we could, well, sure. Anybody who does that, somebody did it, okay? It was caught on surveillance. We'll call him a male Karen, full of Karenicity. You're full of Karenicity because you got time today. Went all the way out to a field, picked some cotton, or you saved it. Maybe you took a visitor's tour or something of an old cotton field or something. I don't know. But you found yourself some raw cotton, and this is what you did. That is the most technical definition of a Karen, okay? That's it, hands down. Nobody can argue with that. You put in the work, and you earned the title. And there are others like you. I'd like to hear from him when caught, okay? I wish a Karen would.
You want to call the police on him for having a barbecue on a Sunday.
I feel free! Back off!
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Do not come at me like that. Don't say first of all. I am freaking out right now. Look, I have 2 small children. I have a dog. Look, hey. No, look, ma'am. I have 2 small children and a dog, and my child came here for a very important surgery that he couldn't have. I really need help. Go ahead and be a stupid ass bitch.
So there you have it. A Karen mother, or a mother Karen, okay, is how I'm going to put it, on a racist tirade on airline workers. And just when you perhaps were going to be touched, just a little pinch, we'll call it, of empathy, talking about surgery and the son and my kid. She's worn out. She's lost it. She's over it. But a lot of people are going through things. So she has to use the N-word. Well, it doesn't roll off your tongue like that unless you're used to using it, okay? Used to teaching your children. I wonder if she has flashcards for her children. I had flashcards for my daughter, teaching her words, cat. And then she's like, cat. And she said, cat. And I wonder if this mom has flashcards too, right? And the babies, right. And I believe that they do, okay? They're teaching by example. It's why I don't do road rage. And somebody stole my parking space. I was waiting, the mall is packed around the holiday time, and I'm sitting there. And my daughter kept saying, Mommy, you need to get in there fast. We're just waiting for someone to pull out. Found a lucky spot. It was closer to the door, too. Do you know these fools, a group of boys, just going to pull into the spot ahead of me? After I just told my daughter, I said, be patient. No one's that ignorant. I said, that's what I said to her. No one would do this. Well, they did it. And I had I'll just call it a reaction. And then afterwards, I said, Mommy didn't do the right thing. It's best just to go find you another spot, right? This Karen, she didn't apologize to her kids. I know in my heart. And you know what's in her heart. What say you, Jackson?
It felt like maybe she was a few seconds away from getting some assistance, and then she was just like, blah! She just couldn't help it. She just she let the hard ER out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, when in doubt, just bring that out, and you'll get your way. You'll shake things up. But Yeah, I don't know. A lot of the time, I've had my flights delayed. I've had unfortunate things happen at airports and things along those lines. But calling people, offensive, racist names probably isn't going to get you any closer to your destination. But when in doubt, she was all out of options, so she just, she just was like, screw it. Let me go ahead and
Yeah.
try it. And now
And
she's on indisputable.
Yeah, you're on indisputable. And here's the thing. When her place of employment sees this, and we got to get rid of her and all this stuff, she will get a lawyer. She will talk about a breakdown. She will get some sympathy online, Jackson. There will be people who say, give her a break, her kid and surgery and this and that. My thing is, were they going to give you a break or me a break now? You did wrong. Why can't you just face the consequences? So if you are so inclined, if you know this mother Karen, do tell. Give us more information, okay? We're not just going to even take her word for it, too. We're not going to do that. Let's get to the next one. A tourist woman allegedly sets fire to businesses in Puerto Rico. Why? Content creator, that Dinesh guy, gives background to the arsonist suspect. Watch.
A few days ago at Bar Maria, this woman was repeatedly kicked out for being drunk and hostile with the staff there. Now, the police did come, but as you can see, they're laughing along with her and didn't really charge her with anything or do anything about it. And later on that night, she burnt down the bar.
Y mira, ahí está la intención de que sí, yo pensé que salió cogiendo rápido. Echó el líquido, que es la gasolina, y mira, porque para que prenda así, de una, eso es gasolina obligado. Mírala por ahí, mírala ahí. Mírala con el tanque de gasolina, ella.
And you can see her walking with a can of gas. Four other businesses and a hotel were affected by this fire. There is a GoFundMe for Bar Maria and for the gift shop Artis Vuavia.
This is among the ugliest situations. An out-of-control tourist who gets away with doing this. Nobody said, what does it take to put the handcuffs on a white blonde woman in another country carrying fuel and setting fires? Just asking, okay? According to the San Juan Daily Star, residents and business owners in Cabo Rojo El Cabate tourist sector have urged law enforcement to apprehend a female tourist suspected of arson attacks on several local establishments. A woman identified as Danielle Bertolfi from Missouri has allegedly left the island, prompting demands for action from the Puerto Rico Police Bureau and the Attorney General's Office of the Mayagüez Judicial District. Can somebody reach out to the 320 friends that was on the bottom of that little and say, do you know where Danielle is? She kind of started some fires down here. She burnt down the establishment. Security footage from a restaurant captured Bertolfi arguing with other patrons and assaulting a waitress. No arrest. The El Combate businesses impacted by the fires include Marinera, Bar Maria, and Artisania Coffea. Do you know I took 6 years of Spanish? Didn't listen to lick, and you're supposed to be repetition. And so this is why I'm butchering it. The bottom line, though, is she burnt these establishments. An arsonist, Karen. She really could have gone on to the Karen umbrella. In a statement, locals expressed their disappointment that Bertolfi had not been arrested despite multiple interventions by the Cabo Rojo Municipal Police. They claimed that this allowed her to return and set fire to the Bar Maria and several other structures. Witnesses reported that she then went to sleep. I'm gonna sleep good tonight. Don't set me some fires. Good night. Sleep at her accommodation, disappeared the next day, leaving no one to bear responsibility for the damages. San Juan Daily Star with the details. Community members took to social media to identify Bertolfi, discovering she works for an event coordination agency. Prior to the arson incidents, Bertozzi reportedly entered a restaurant, ordered alcoholic drinks, and proceeded to argue with both diners and staff. When asked to leave, she became increasingly aggressive, assaulted an employee, leading to the involvement of the municipal police. However, instead of arresting her for the offense, officers merely escorted Bertozzi to her accommodation without addressing the harm she had caused at a restaurant. So apparently when a white blonde woman crosses the border the other way, they take their privilege with them. The privilege goes right over the border with them. Dinesh would go on to update that the woman was suspended from her job. That part after her employer, HLK Agency, posted a statement about the accusations. In their statement, they wrote, "We were shocked to learn about the events in Puerto Rico. We have not yet been contacted by law enforcement in either Puerto Rico or Missouri, but we are ready to cooperate in their investigation if asked. After learning about this on Friday afternoon, we chose to immediately place the employee on suspension pending further information. We are outraged by this senseless act and hope the authorities can address it in a timely fashion." Well, the timeliness would have come in when she was just striking the match and they escorted her back to her hotel or maybe Airbnb. I don't know. That's when the timeliness comes in. Jackson, what are the odds that she's going to face additional consequences besides suspension from her job in Missouri?
I think that all depends on how hard the municipality in Puerto Rico pushes for this. I mean, first and foremost, do you understand how completely out of your mind you have to be to do something like this anywhere? Like I didn't get my way, so I'm gonna light this establishment on fire, and that'll show them. Like you're an idiot. Like you are an idiot to do something like this. And also, like time and time again, we see examples of people who clearly have never gotten their ass whooped before,
Thank you.
or
Never
have
faced a consequence.
never faced any real consequences for getting out of line with people. You know, like it's just like how do you make it to adulthood with this in you? You know, like there's like I'm back here in St. Louis now. Like there's certain things I know. Like I mean, I'm a big dude. But I'm just one dude. You know what I'm saying? Like if I do certain things wrong, I'm gonna get shot up. I'm gonna get jumped. More likely shot up because I'm here in Missouri and everybody got guns here. But you know, you just kind of go about your life and certain things happen to you to where you're like, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I shouldn't do that, no matter how tough you think you are. Only if you've never had to face that do you do something like this. And then to do it, you know, well, I mean, technically Puerto Rico's a part of America, but it's also another country. So like you go to another country, I'm just gonna set this thing on fire.
Yeah.
Like she's crazy. She needs to be in prison for real because there's no telling what else she'll do. And if she gets away with this, next thing you know, man, whoever's dating her, you better watch out.
You better watch your back.
You better watch out for real.
Okay. A volatile, destructive, dangerous. This is a dangerous woman. Okay.
She is.
Okay. She cannot comport herself, and I don't want to hear anything about alcohol. Okay.
Right.
People are having a good time. I don't see a bunch of people setting fires, but you did, Karen. Okay. You did. And I think you're right about never facing any consequences. That white suit of protection has done as intended. It's protected her like a bulletproof vest. It kept her out of trouble because I don't believe this is a one-off. Ain't no way.
No. You don't start with write nasty messages and then just go to burning stuff down. No, she done slashed some tires and ruined some paint on cars. She done did all types of stuff and got away with it.
Yeah, so this was probably a little tourist section. And that's the only reason I can think that the municipality, the police said, you know what, we're not going to make a big deal about this. But I'm guessing that, and that's still no excuse. You'd have to go. People could have died because of this perpetrator.
For real.
This is Indisputable. Sharon Reed alongside Jackson White. Dr. Richie has the day off. We're right back.
Indisputable exclusive. Exclusive, disputable, exclusive. We brought you this first. No other news agency has this video. No other news agency has this story.
Every week on Indisputable, we do original, exclusive, investigative reporting you'll find nowhere else.
Our reports have been viewed by millions. Hosted by Sean King, Ben Crump, Senator John Ossoff.
You, through your investigative reporting, unearthed very troubling allegations about specific forms of abuse and discrimination in the federal prison system.
We catching these cases on camera. Just imagine the things that we don't see.
Our groundbreaking investigations and exclusive interviews bring you the real voices no one else wants you to hear. We tell the stories.
Imagine a prison that is so racist, the corrections officers contact me. That is a life or death situation being created. A black woman who was driving for Uber was allegedly assaulted by a white male passenger. After we got involved, roughly 24 hours later, the police all of a sudden opened up an investigation. What was going through your mind when bullets were simply flying inside of your vehicle?
Honestly, I thought I was going to die.
Did these officers ever say that you fit the description of somebody they were looking for? Did they say that?
Never.
Okay, that means they lied.
And we want you to be part of our truth-telling movement. Send pictures and video of stories no one else is telling and a 1 or 2 paragraph summary of the story to Indisputable's exclusive tip line at indvideos@tyt.com.
If you have more information about what's happening at this particular facility, please let me know.
Together, we're challenging the system, and together, we're making a difference.
I have the entire background to this story, and it is going to make your blood boil.
Indisputable with Dr. Rashad Ritchie, unveiling the truth, empowering the people. Weekdays at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Pacific.
All right, let me do a little quick plug here. It's not even a plug. I'm bragging, okay? I'm bragging. Watch me. We have a channel on YouTube, a whole channel devoted just to the Young Turks. It's badass, right? Wow, man. I can see the voice.
You guys are rock stars.
Unbelievable. Senator Sanders, welcome to Rebel Headquarters. Man, you guys are amazing. We gave you what you wanted. Okay. Speaking of shirts.
I have a surprise.
You reached a lot of people. You are the Young Turks. And we have spread that progressive message wide and far. Let's keep it going.
I really love what y'all do on the Young Turks, man, and it's a very refreshing, voice. Y'all don't lean to one side. I tell people all the time, if you want to go really hear what's going on honestly in our society, you should tune in to the Young Turks.
Thank you, Charlemagne. We appreciate that.
That's awesome. Really appreciate it, brother.
Here's the inside scoop on diners in LA. You want good pastrami sandwich, you go to Factors. You want to see some people in the business, you go to Nate and Al's. You want the best variety? My secret spot's the Nosh. Now here's the inside scoop on politics and news. You go watch the Young Turks live every day at 6 o'clock Eastern.
Welcome back to Indisputable with Dr. Rashad Ritchie. Doc has the day off. Jackson White, Politics and Paper, is with us today. Jackson, what are you up to lately?
Well, the new year just got here, so I've been kind of getting my energy back after the election, and I'm looking forward to just being more involved in campaigns and
Yeah.
advocacy work this year. I'll be getting involved in St. Louis politics while I'm
Oh,
here, and
thank you.
been working on expanding my stuff out into. I'm working with a guy who does movie critiques for a living. Just trying to
Good.
do a little bit more, but also in
Versatile.
terms of politics, being more
Yeah.
involved with things that are hands-on. So I'm excited
Well,
about
yours is an important voice, and I spent, a few years there, Channel 4 in St. Louis. So your voice is necessary too. You understand?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Let's get to some of your comments now. Lynn is back. She had this to say about a very busy Karen in Puerto Rico, setting fires and then going to sleep before disappearing the next day, not arrested. Lynn says maybe the blonde arsonist will eventually become U.S. president, just like someone else who has never faced any consequences. It could happen. It could happen. Deck says, as Doc says, children aren't always listening, but they are always learning. I'd gift a membership to that Karen, airport Karen. Going to just call the Southwest Airlines attendant the N-word right in front of your kid. Nice, Karen. Electrified Chicken Dragon says, next thing you know, she'll have a position in the Trump administration. Now, that is quite plausible to me. I don't know how you feel about it, Jackson, but there are several documented cases of people inside the incoming, some not confirmed, but some named, Trump administration who have documented never having had a can of whoop ass opened upon them and being very racist. Okay. So that could definitely happen. In fact, I think that might be one of the job requirements. That's just me. Her kids are going to grow up doing the same thing. It's an endless cycle. Andrew Martinez, so true. So true. TJ6, Sharon, you cracking me up. I don't even know what I say sometimes, TJ6. I'm caffeine deprived today. Jackson will tell me if I'm not making sense, though. He's a truth teller, and I'll
Good so
accept it from
far.
him. I'm making sense?
It's good
Okay.
so far. Yeah.
I think I was thinking of Mexico and talking about Puerto Rico. So I appreciate you snapping me back. It's in this country. I know geography, and I also know that the earth is round, not flat. But when you haven't had much sleep, sometimes things get jumbled. So thank you, TJ6. Sometimes I crack myself up, actually. Cyber Gothica. Karens everywhere. Infestations. It is an infestation. It's a pandemic, if you will, these Karens. And they're multiplying fast. They're multiplying like some kind of insect that lays thousands of eggs at a time. And then, bam, they all sprout and scurry off and procreate. And wouldn't you know it, you go to Target, there's another Karen right up there. And 2 baby Karens. Okay? That's where we're headed if we don't clean this up. Amelia Adams, yeah, best Karens shown always. And Mike Nice says, kick Karen off. I wish you all were on the jury sometimes, the instant justice jury. All right, let's get back to this story now, because there's a theme going on, a racist theme. It's often, sometimes, it can happen on the show because, again, it's a mirror. It's a reflection of what's going on from this view. Fireman calls Black woman the N-word during a traffic dispute. Per the Atlanta Black Star, pressure is on Pennsylvania community to sever all ties with John Romano, a former assistant fire chief and fencing contractor, after he was charged for a racist verbal attack. Romano of Delaware County faces criminal charges, including ethnic intimidation, terroristic threats, harassment, disorderly conduct, and obstructing highways after the November 21 confrontation with an unnamed Black woman. Well, I'm just taking in the photo. There's a lot I could say, but I'm going to just stick to the details on this one for now. According to the criminal complaint, he was loading trees onto his forklift while blocking traffic on a local road. because that's what I can do. I got privilege. You wait. I added that. Woman caught in traffic caused by Romano admitted growing impatient and honking her horn at the forklift. Romano, who was white, allegedly responded, "Who the F are you beeping at? Shut up, B." This is assistant fire chief. It used to be, you see all the truck, the fire truck, and if it was an emergency, a child could, do like they do truck, and they'd say, "Bom, bom," and they'd see this awesome truck go by. You could go to a fire station and they'd let you climb on in the thing. I've done that here in Atlanta with my little one, not so little anymore. She loved it. You don't expect fire chief and assistant to act this way. The woman said she then tried to drive her car around the forklift. By then, according to the investigators, Romano had jumped out of the forklift to confront the woman at ground level, calling her a, quote, monkey, while saying he would find out where she lived and where she was from. Romano continued with the verbal assault, allegedly telling the woman, "You know what, N? Go get a effing banana. I'm not dealing with you today, plain and simple." There's something else. The woman said Romano took a picture of her license plate and claimed he had the power to have her vehicle towed. Romano threatened to become physical, according to the complaint, repeatedly calling her a porch monkey, and he scoffed at the suggestion she may contact law enforcement. The woman claimed telling her he was protected. Now, see, I like the details of this story because if true, he's saying something very obvious, not surprising. I knew exactly what he meant. I have the power to have you towed. He's saying firemen, police, play cards together. We make those firehouse meals and share with our buddies. Back the blue. The woman did call police. Romano, recorded on body camera video, admitted to calling her the N-word and then told one of the officers, "I'll tell you what I said. I'll say it again. It's my belief. They're all animals. I'm tired of dealing with them." When the officer told Romano about the possible repercussions he could face, Romano allegedly replied, "So I can't call a N a N?" This is something else, this one. Romano, police said, claimed the woman had threatened to kill him. He then retracted his previous statement about him calling her a racial slur, according to investigators. "I didn't call her a N." Romano then told the officer, according to the criminal complaint, "I said, go get a banana, you monkey. That's what I said." So how's that racist? She is a wild animal. I can't, Jackson, I'm reading what's presented here. I'm trying to just give people the information, and I kept it straight until you had to go there. And you got it.
How's that racist? I didn't use the N word, so what difference does it make? I'm just telling the truth.
Acting like a wild animal. Okay,
right.
This guy's a piece of work. But there's more, and then we can both get our laugh on. Romano, a former Sharon Hill assistant fire chief, has been suspended by the fire company's board of trustees, and the borough has also severed ties, said Sharon Hill Council President Tanya Allen. However, a LinkedIn page still lists Romano as the owner of JMP Fencing, and he was responding on behalf of the company to Better Business Bureau complaints as recently as 2023. Romano is due in court in February. Thank you to our friends at Atlanta Black Star for giving us the hilarious details here. It's a skit. What he is purported to have said in this confrontation is something that not even Chappelle would come up with for one of his shows. It's pathetic. But you saw how, and I wonder what you make of this, Jackson, how open he was on body cam to the officers, right? He was very open. Yeah, I said it like, we're cut from the same cloth. You wouldn't just do that, but this is what's systemic, folks. He went up there. There's nothing in the reporting that says they were friends. Maybe they've seen each other. I don't know. But he felt pretty comfortable acknowledging what was said. What say you?
Well, firstly, this guy is seriously committed to not liking black people at all. My man's is for real. But I think this is pretty good insight into how racist pathology works. I mean, people seldom think they're bad. You know, like it's the human entity doesn't do well thinking that, you know, I'm a bad guy, I'm evil. Like people don't really operate that way. People think that what they're doing is just and right if they think about it at all. And when you're genuinely a racist like this guy, and he said it, like they're animals. What? I can't call an N-word an N-word? Like what
All of
difference
them.
does it make? It's like it's not racist, it's just the truth, you know, like when you talk about like the black community and all the things the black community has been through, all the effort that's been put forth to keep the black community down. You know, legally now we still have redlining just by different names, stuff like that. Well, you know, no, it's not that. It's just that black people are lazy and stupid and they just can't get their act together. They don't, you know, like the fathers don't want to be in the households. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's not that America is systemically racist. You know, but this is just a good insight into how that works. You know, he doesn't think that he's racist. He thinks that he's just calling a spade, you know, which is why, you know, after this past election, so many people, even on the left, and by left, I mean the general left, liberals, and anybody to the left of that. It's like, no, I don't really know if racism had that much to do with this, if you really think about it. Even though the last 10 years of our politics has been consumed by racism. And Donald Trump's whole agenda practically is racism, with a little bit of talking about grocery prices. Oh, you know, it's just baked into the cake. But yeah, this one, I mean, you got to laugh at people like this. I mean, it's not funny, but it is funny because he's a loser and an idiot. But also, again, it's not racism. It's just what it is.
And just the sheer privilege again. Forklift, blocking traffic, and then you're going to come out, you're inconvenience people, and this is what we're doing. Okay, Mr. Romano, I even think Cherry Hill could do more. Just like someone's caught up in a criminal case and they print their names in the paper, you know, these towns still do that. I think if you did that with racism, it might start to shift things. How much, I don't know. I don't know. Bananas. You're bananas. And now you go eat a banana. Come on, man. Come on. This is Indisputable. Sharon Reed alongside Jackson White. Dr. Rashad Ritchie has the day off. We're right back.
Now, I'm going to do something very different here and read some one-star reviews of the Young Turks on Apple Podcasts. Donnie Franchise said, pretty much it's like listening to a trash compactor. Someone else said, negative, anti-American propaganda. And others said, out of context, misquotes, typical leftists who are afraid to debate, just smear. These two would be perfect for CNN or MSLSD. Well, Donnie, you might have a point, because I feel like a trash compactor right now after taking in all those garbage reviews. But thanks for listening anyway. We are, in fact, unapologetically progressive. And if you're not ready for bold commentary, then we're not the show for you. On the Young Turks, we speak up about the issues that matter, and we want to make positive change happen. And now here's why we actually do the show. Mariel Morales said, found this podcast from the True Crime Podcast, Fruit Loops, and other great progressive podcasts. I've become an instant fan of the Young Turks. Great conversation, great takes, very well composed, factual podcast, very informative. Love to hear that. Zed55 said, it's a joy to experience such awareness and intelligence from fascinating people. And Anna is gorgeous and brilliant. Apparently I'm just fascinating, but I'll take it. Paul for Progress said, news well delivered. Appreciate it. KOOK said, Democrats and Republicans are fair game for TYT, and if Anna or Cenk provide disinformation about anything, they will admit they made a mistake and correct it. We appreciate you noticing that we are honest. To people who actually listen to the substance of the show, thank you. Your listenership supports what we do. Leave a 5-star rating for the Young Turks on Apple Podcasts. Let's take the ratings back from the trolls.
At TYT, we depend on our audience to help us deliver the news and try to fight for positive change. We've been doing that for 22 years because of you guys. So now, because of our new campaign, there's some awesome perks that come along with supporting the Young Turks and to get us through this storm. That's why, for example, one of the perks is the Riders in the Storm t-shirt. There's other fun things like me leaving a voicemail for you guys, And then there's bigger ones where you could name items in the office or the studio. Some of you have already done that, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Tracy Rager named Anna's gavel Charlie Rules after her dog. That's so sweet. Thank you, Tracy. Jeffrey Manzer named my studio light. I look so pretty now because of Jeffrey, but that's what I love. That's how connected we are to our audience. That's why we're one of the few digital media companies that have survived so far. So if you want to help, go to tyt.com/perks. And you really are part of our team when you come and help, because we can't do this without you guys. But with you guys, we are too strong.
You know how much it costs you to start an account on tyt.com? Nothing. It's free. So you just go and register in about 2.5 seconds. Then you can chat with us during the show. We read those comments the most often. You chat with each other. Tons of people have become friends there. We're super interactive. We do a lot of polls for our paying members. We sometimes do polls that drive the direction of the show. So that's amazing. There's no other show that's this interactive. And our home base for that is tyt.com. Come join us right now.
Welcome back to Indisputable with Dr. Rashad Ritchie. Doc has the day off. Jackson White is our special guest co-host today. Love having Jackson. I know you do too. I'm Sharon Reed, just holding down the fort, if you will. Let's get to some of your comments. The theme today is a horrific case of racism for a number of people we've called out in stories. Lynn says this about the assistant fire chief, Sharon Hill area of the country, who talked about a porch monkey and called a black motorist the N-word. I hope Romano never got called to a burning home building owned by people of color. We might want to go back and look. Perhaps he did. And how did that work out? Total loss? I don't know. Asking. Just asking. Very active today, you all. And we appreciate you very much for your comments. Okay, Storm Fluent 97 has this to say, YouTube, thank you. Being a racist is worse than being an alcoholic, but what's worse is a racist alcoholic. That's because I tend to believe that that's what's coming out, okay? You're not suddenly, I don't know, what do you think, Jackson? Can alcohol, Hennessy, let's say, make you racist?
I don't know if it can make you anything. It just brings stuff out. It takes away your filter. From my experience, I've been pretty drunk, and it's never turned me into
Yeah, that's
a
just not what you're
racist or a
doing.
homophobe or anything like that.
Thank you. I agree. And I think
Not
that's all alcohol, brown liquor. It's not the alcohol. It's you.
yes.
Okay. So you're right, Storm Fluent 97. You're absolutely correct. Okay. Amelia Adams, yeah, best Karens always. We appreciate you. I feel sorry for the staff sometimes. They got to pick them out and they have to look at several candidates, many to choose from. Bragged, WTF, are they smoking at Fox? Referring to the discrimination cases, Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless has to answer to some things. He's accused of harassing, of course, the hairdresser who was at the network for decades. As Skip said, I'll give you $1.5 million to sleep with me. That's the allegation. All right, we're going to move on now to this next story. It's a tragedy, but now there is movement. We'll call it movement in the case. And here's what we're talking about here. Virginia jail deputies charged with murder of a Black inmate. 3 former deputies who were fired after the in-custody death of 34-year-old inmate Roland Hill at a Virginia jail last year have now been charged with the inmate's murder. 5 deputies were fired after a medical examiner ruled Hill's death a homicide. Hill died days after he was booked into a Virginia Beach jail on charges of trespassing, resisting arrest, disorderly conduct in June 2024. According to the Virginia Beach Sheriff's Office, Hill was being uncooperative and combative during the booking process and had to be restrained for, quote, his safety and the safety of the arresting officers and jail deputies. And make sure you pay attention to the quotes. This is what they said happened. Virginia Pilot reported that less than half an hour after the subject, Mr. Hill, arrived at the jail, Hill suffered a medical emergency and had to be rushed to a local hospital. He died 6 days later. Hill's friends disputed the report authorities released about the circumstances leading up to the 34-year-old's death. What do we believe happened to him? What the family thinks, there's more than 4 deputies that were fighting him, and they said he was being combative, and I believe that they beat him until he had a medical emergency, and then they felt they had to deal with it as they saw fit afterwards, which was not the correct way. One person who knew Hill told WAVY News last June. October 2024, medical examiner determined that Hill died from positional and mechanical asphyxia due to restraint with neck and torso compression, ruled the death a homicide. The men accused of Hill's murder were among 5 law enforcement officials who were fired from their jobs shortly after the medical examiner's ruling. Virginia Beach NAACP stated that the former deputies' arrests are a critical first step in the pursuit of justice. And we'll get to taking food off your table, money out of your bank. We'll get to that. Make the arrest. Eric G. Baptiste, 39 years old. Michael C. Kidd, 39. Kevin B. Wilson, 34. All face second-degree murder charges in connection with the death of 34-year-old Roland Hill. Grand jury also indicted Baptiste on 5 counts of assault and battery and Kidd on 2 counts of assault and battery. So the others who were just fired, I'd like to know more there. Did they lie about the incident? Because that's a crime too. There's got to be zero tolerance, Jackson. And by that, I mean, what would they do to you or me? Throw the book at them. They can defend themselves. Fired? Throw the book at them. This happened June 2024, 6-7 months later. And now, and it took the grand jury. This is turned so slow till people move on to the next thing, forget about things, and then things are kind of settled quietly. I don't know what's going to happen here, but I know that's been the trend that we've seen too often. What say you about this one? Roland Hill was so young, had everything to live for. This should not have gone down.
Yeah, not only was he an inmate, but he's a Black inmate. So as you said, you kind of kick the can down the road, wait till people forget about things if you can, And then hopefully by that time for them, they don't really have to hold these murderers accountable in any type of real substantial way. But I want to point something out about how helped it is for the broader America to see the black community as a bunch of criminals. I mean, for the most part, when people see black people, all they see are like boys in the hood, menace to society on BET, or they see rappers, and that's it. Like that's all, or athletes. That's kind of it. That's where it stops. Either you see black people running up and down a field or shooting a basketball, or you see rappers talking about how much they don't like women and how they sell drugs and they'll shoot you, or you're watching some crime show with some young black kid in a detective's office about some crime he committed, and that's as deep as the well goes. That's all they see. So that really just helps to reinforce stuff like this, whether it's
Yep.
also what a black person got shot, also what an inmate got killed, despite the fact that most people who are in prison are there for minor offenses. Most people in
Yeah.
prison are not murderers or rapists or anything like
Yeah.
that.
Look at this
So
case.
yeah,
Trespassing is how, if we believe them, this began.
yeah.
Why was someone dead 6 days later? And it's always resisting arrest because everybody apparently just goes crazy. They go crazy. Black people go crazy when confronted by police and just start punching and grabbing for their guns and even when they're surrounded by 5 or 6 of them. Isn't it funny how some don't even ever have a record, but they all go crazy when confronted by police, when maybe police just say, "Hey, how you doing, sir?" And then just start swinging. It's not plausible. It's just not credible, Jackson.
Yeah, yeah, but again, this at the end of the day, I mean, Why does anyone in jail need to be beat to death?
Thank you.
I mean, how does that really benefit society in any type of way? It doesn't. You're just doing what you can. You're getting away with hurting people because you can.
Because you
But
can.
I think that going forward, I mean, there's so much that needs to be done to help the black community, both privately and publicly. But I think a lot of it not has to do with, but we got to do a better job shining light on
Yeah.
the full, all of what black people are, which is more than rappers and
Hey,
athletes and criminals.
I think you're absolutely right. I've been a storyteller my whole adult career, and I believe the storytelling's everything. Again, in newsrooms, I always push. How come all the expert doctors you have in your story are always white people? You don't know any black doctors or brown doctors or female doctors? It's everything. The storytelling is everything because you're not going to treat someone human unless you see them as such. Next, this was a horrific crime, a murder that so many of her fans still aren't over, her family. Unimaginable. And now Selena's murderer says she has a bounty on her head in prison. Yolanda Saldivar, who murdered Selena, says bounty on her head for killing music stars should lead to early prison release. Can you imagine that? I committed a heinous crime. And because I committed a heinous crime, nobody likes me. So let me out. Did she write this brief herself? The woman in prison for 30 years in the killing of the Queen of Tejano, Selena Quintanilla Perez, seeking parole, saying she has a bounty on her head. Law and Crime with the details. Yolanda Saldivar, age 64, has become eligible for parole this year after serving 30 years of her life sentence at the Patrick L. O'Daniel unit in Gatesville, Texas. The parole review process begins with a review of the offender's file, including letters of support and protest. Institutional parole officer reviews the file and interviews the offender before preparing a case summary for the board voting panel. Board usually votes on a case just before the parole eligibility date. That would be on March 30th in Salvador's case. If she is approved for parole, her release can be no earlier than March 30th. Now, she maintains the shooting was accidental and has expressed concerns for her safety in prison. An inmate told the New York Post Saldivar is a target. Everyone knows who Yolanda Saldivar is, said Marisol Lopez, who served with her from 2017 to 2022. The Post reported There's a bounty on her head, like everyone wants a piece of her. The guards keep her away from everyone else because she's hated so much. If she were out in general population, someone would try to take her down. Let's remind you of the murder of Selena that took place in 1995. Saldivar was a Selena fan club president who later became friends with the singer and managed her boutiques. In 1995, Saldivar was fired after the singer's family accused her of embezzling money. Saldivar shot the 23-year-old singer on March 31st, 1995 at a motel room in Corpus Christi, Texas, where the singer was lured under the guise of returning financial documents. Saldivar was arrested after a standoff with police, convicted of first-degree murder October 26, 1995. She was sentenced to life with the possibility of parole after 30 years. In a 1995 interview with ABC's 2020, she said, "They made me out to be a monster, and I just want to say I did not kill Selena. It was an accident. My conscience is clear." So I would do all the requirements, and I would fill out the paperwork and do the report. But with that comment on the record to ABC in 1995, quote, "It was an accident. I did not kill Selena," that's, the door is shut, and it has to stay shut. Out of touch, out of bounds, clueless. I have no doubt there's a bounty on her head, and she could get hurt. But she's been in this long, and you haven't heard about that. Don't know what to do about that. Prisons are bad. But I would be disgusted, as her fans and family are, Selena, that this woman who took away their precious one is still proclaiming her innocence and saying, "What about me? It's all about me." What say you?
She probably safer. I mean, she might as well serve out the rest of her life sentence. I mean, after 30 years, I'm sure you'd like to be out, but you kind of forfeited the rest of your life by doing what you did. You know, like if you come out of there, like you said, there's some bounty on you, but you also, what are you going to do for work? I mean, not only are you, a convict who killed one of the more beloved people in modern history in terms of entertainers, but also, you're 64 and you haven't worked for 30 years. So like, what are you really going to do? You might as well go ahead and do something to stay in there. But I'm trying real hard to find some droplets of sympathy in the depths
Yeah.
of my spirit, and I'm just, it's dry. It's just, I'm not finding anything in there. So boo hoo.
Yeah.
Good for you. That good for you. You shouldn't have did what you
Yeah.
did.
Should have did what you did. And
yeah.
there's something in me, people like to always say, "Oh, well, for someone to act this way, they must be crazy." And I think she probably could have. There's a strong possibility she could have some kind of diagnosed personality disorder. But she's not insane. She's sane. And what always struck me about Yolanda is that she's a manipulator. She's calculating and manipulative, which is why she lured Selena to her death in that hotel room and left her fleeing before collapsing and dying. And why she, the survivor of that incident, not Selena, is left to rebuild the story of what happened there in fantastic terms, unbelievable terms. And even saying, "I didn't kill her." Well, you did. It wasn't an accident, but even if it was, you did kill her. And I think it's sick that this is what she's resorted to with loved ones still mourning. Very young. Selena was so young when this happened.
Yeah, 23 is, you're a kid. I mean, now that I'm in my early 30s, I realize that I was a kid in my 20s. Like,
Yeah,
you think you're not, but you are. Like,
you are
that's so young. And she was like obsessed with her or some
obsessed.
yeah, like some crazy like that. But yeah, no, I mean, you only get one shot in life, as you are, at least. Maybe in your next life you'll be a squirrel or a frog or an alien on another planet somewhere, but you only get one shot at being any individual. So you ruined your life, you ruined a lot of other people's lives, and
If she did come back as a squirrel, I picture her hoarding all the nuts for herself, not sharing with anyone else, because it's all
Yeah.
about Perfect. This is indisputable. Jackson, remind people where they can find your great work.
Yeah, it's always good to be here with you. Y'all can check me out at Politics and Paper on YouTube. It's youtube.com/@politicsandpaper. I'm excited about the new year. Got some new stuff, expanding my horizons, and I'm also going to be getting involved here in St. Louis politics. So I'm excited to take y'all on that journey with me.
Tell my St. Louis peeps I said hello. I still have an aunt there. If you ever need anything, Aunt Frances is there. She'll take you in.
Oh, you gonna? Well,
yeah.
maybe you shouldn't have told me that, because now I'm gonna have to see what's up with Frances. If she
She's
got
wonderful.
some plates
She's
for me or something.
She's just a saint. She's a
Right.
saint. She giggles a lot. I love her. Okay, this is indisputable. Thank you to Dr. Ritchie, who had the day off, for allowing us to fill in today. We hope you'll join us again.